Okay,
They're now live.
thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. Madam Chair,
Okay, can we move to accept the minutes as, unless somebody has a change that they'd like to make? The minutes as circulated? Somebody want to make that motion? John? Second, anybody?
I can second.
Okay, Mary or Pam, whichever. All in favor? Okay. All righty. Okay, your business report, Jennifer.
okay.
It's arising, sorry.
All right, so it's not very long. We have followed through with the request from Bob on the press reader awareness. And we've had a real uptick in the short period of time that press reader has been available to the public in Simcoe County, not just us, because we haven't got those numbers from the county yet, but over 7,000 times it's already been accessed.
Good.
So that's amazing.
Yeah,
So soon we should be, as soon as Gail Hall at the county gets it orchestrated, we should be getting numbers specific to Clearview. I don't have that for you yet. Yes, Bob.
It just occurred to me that we published something the day after our last meeting, but there hasn't been anything since. And I'm wondering whether we couldn't be a little more active on that, at least for the next 4 to 6 weeks or so, and then, you know, just throw one in periodically. But maybe we could do one a week for the next 4 weeks, and then just to. If the thing is that if people didn't see it then, it's buried in our Facebook page.
Well, it is, but it's on our website. But Michelle, I'm going to pass that over to you. And if you could make sure that happens once a week.
I used it, by the way, and it works really well. The only problem was I can't read things on the computer for very long. The old eyes don't work so well anymore, but
Yeah,
it did work very well. It was easy to use. So
it's easy to use, and you can, there's over 7,000 publications on Press Reader, and you can search if you're interested in a specific subject or a person. You can enter it at the search box at the top right corner, and it'll go through everyone. You can also abbreviate it, so it's only looking at the particular publication you're interested in. But that's a huge time saver when you're, trying to do any kind of research or tracking on something. So I think it's going to have a lot of value. And I have been contacted by people who haven't used us for a long time or have never used us before. And the only reason they want a membership is because they want access to Press Reader.
there you
wonderful.
go.
So,
Connie, you had something you wanted to say?
Well, I was just going to mention that I did mention it at council that we had this now, and Doug McKechnie was kind enough to speak up and say that, yes, he'd accessed it and it was great. And I hope that had something to do with the 7,000 hits, quite frankly, because, we're starting to get more people watching the council meetings now, which is great, because otherwise, how do you get them engaged? I don't know. I think that, the one saving grace of all this virtual crap that we're dealing with is that people are now getting engaged because they can sit there in the comfort of their home and watch us, which is terrific. And they learn stuff, which is even better.
Right.
So it helps.
Live streaming when the time comes, eh? You guys are going to have to. You're going to have live streaming when the time comes to go back to in person.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't
plan.
think we can give it up now. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're getting more people because of it, not, and you can't get them out to the council meetings, and I don't blame them. I mean, who wants to sit there for,
Right.
I mean, I don't want to be there. So honestly,
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's been good. There are some good things about this.
Good.
No, sorry, I've just been hacked, so I'm trying to deal with that, and I'm not doing it very well. Okay, so we have sent the letters off to our MP regarding CELA and to the KPMG consultant who has got back to me. So that's great. And he was very nice. I talked to him on the phone. I also talked to the MP. He phoned me as soon as I'd sent the letter. I've sent them through snail mail, but I've also sent it all electronically as well. So they both got back to me quickly, and I can add something to that. The consultant for the library, Simcoe County Library Cooperative Service Review, has asked if he could meet with the board virtually on June 4th.
Oh,
I don't have a date yet. I'm not sure. I do have the date. I don't have a time. I got back to him and said it should be after 4 p.m. because, you know, many of you are still working and you're not available. And so I think this is going to be a problem with all the boards because, you know, when they're dealing with council, that's great, especially at county council, you expect them to be available during the day. But, you know, these are volunteer boards, and although the work is very important and you're dedicated, you may still have to put food on the table. And this isn't how you do it. So I'm waiting to hear back about that, but I am wondering whether June 4th would work for most of you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay for me. I'm okay.
Probably, but I don't know.
During the day is actually better than the evening for me, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and 4 o'clock is still day, but it does mean that, you know, Pam, I don't know when you can book off work, but certainly 4 is better than like noon.
It's actually, for me, I'm okay during the day right now, mostly.
Are you? Okay.
I'm not sure that June 4th is a good day because there's a bunch of things that I have to do that day, but if I'm the only one, then carry on and I'll try and join you if I can.
Okay, so I think he's pretty stuck on June 4th because of course they're dealing with a lot of boards to try to get through, and they're also having meetings with the CEOs and the CAOs of the municipality and the deputy mayors and mayors. But having said that, I can also tell you that they want to get this report finished by the end of the summer. So there's a lot of, that's part of their timeline constraint. So can I just basically tell them anytime on June 4th for those of you that can attend?
yes.
Yep.
Okay,
National Donut Day.
we'll see what we can get through that. Sunrise Homes donation, of course, we were going to do that when the stay-at-home order was lifted. We're have a nice presentation, have the press there, and that's been put off until, you know, whenever the stay-at-home order is lifted. But it is coming, and they're certainly very keen and interested. It's just a matter of, you know, actually getting to do it. But okay, I can't get it. All right, so that's it for my business arising that we were dealing with at the last meeting. Connie?
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned this. The KMPG consultant, the mayor was asking about that, and he would like to have that interview and that workshop, or if that's what they want to call it.
He's already been contacted with
Okay.
regards to that, and they are meeting with the CAO, the mayor, the deputy mayor, and me on June 3rd.
Okay, that's
And,
good.
and I did get a call from the mayor when we sent the letter out, and he was wondering why we were sending the letter out. So of course, we had discussed it at a couple of board meetings. So I just reminded him he's got a lot on his plate. Maybe.
Well, he actually mentioned how important the Simcoe County was to us.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know what? He's paying attention. That's great.
Yep,
I'm
that's fine.
really happy with that. So,
I don't expect him to remember everything. He's a busy man.
yeah, well, he's got a bit on his plate right now.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Okay, and so on to the CEO's report, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you have in your package the revised employee policy. Now, I didn't hear back from the human resource manager at the township, but that usually means that she doesn't have an issue with anything. And we don't have to approve it at this meeting. If you want some more time to review it, I know it is an incredibly lengthy document, but the sole purpose of it was to put our existing employee policy in line with the townships, because of course the township acts as the library board's payroll and benefits provider, and so we link in with them. Part of that document, it includes the township pay administration policy. Now, that is a policy set by council and overseen by the CAO of the township. So I can't change the wording in there. It's not our policy, but because your staff are paid and given benefits according to that policy, it's important that it be in there and that we can't adjust it. It just makes part of our policy. And in fact, in the previous Clearview Public Library employee policy, it had been part of that. It's been expanded as a document since we first had an employee policy, but the fact that it was part of our employee policy has not changed. It's just been amended. So I think, do you want some discussion on this or?
Bob?
Bob?
I had a couple of questions that just because I just don't understand the terminology perhaps, but one of the things was non-occupational income protection.
Okay.
What is non-occupational income protection?
I could not say off the top of my head, but I will tell you that everything in there has been what is in the township non-union personnel policy. Okay, so if it came up, I would have to go to the township HR manager and say, what exactly does this pertain to? And I will clarify that with her after the meeting. But there's nothing added in there. I've used their wordings. The only changes have been made is that it reflects the fact that this is a library and things roll out slightly differently through the board and the CEO.
The only reason I ask is because I've never heard the term before. And I said, well, as opposed to occupational or, you know.
What page is that on, Bob?
Oh, it's, you would ask me that, wouldn't you?
Well, I would, yes.
I have my copy of that stored. I'll go down here. I think it's fairly near the. I think that would be page 12. Yeah. Page 12.
I'm just wondering if I see it in context, whether I'd be able to answer your question. Which of course, so freaking.
It's under the income protection plan.
Income protection plan, okay. Okay, well, page 12 is holidays, vacation.
Well, the pages I don't think are numbered
Yeah, they are.
They are at the top,
at the top.
They are in the
Yeah. in the boxes.
in the letterhead or whatever it is in the.
Well, they're not numbered on my machine. They just have, I have a number at the top. It says it's number 12 of 41.
Yeah, so it's actually page 4 of the policy.
Okay.
Bob, if you look at the top, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, at the top, you'll see there's the little boxes that say Clearview Public Library Employee
see.
Policy. If you
Page
look
4
to the
there.
far right, see, there
Yep.
you go. That's where the patient,
I'm
I
still
know,
scrolling here, guys.
kind of,
Oh,
So it's page 4, Jennifer.
yeah, I know. If I could get to page 4, I'd be a very happy person, but this laptop doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. Page 2. Yes, I know. I'm hack. God, I hate people. Okay. All right, page 4, paid jury duty, blah, blah, blah. Leave of absence, income protection, patient income. Okay, I'll have to clarify with the HR manager what that means.
maybe it looks like it's a reference to the income for short-term disability and long-term disability
And for sick days, yeah.
and sick days. So that would be compensation. That would be non-occupational because you're not actually working during those
I
times.
think that's what you're talking about.
So it would be your holiday pay or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
That's
actually,
my
it doesn't look
impression.
like sick holiday because wouldn't holiday be
No, it's
occupational
just
income?
days
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
you're
for-
right. Sorry, Jennifer. Yeah,
But
you're right.
this is, you're
I'm
not,
wondering if non-occupational means, you were out cutting the lawn and you got injured and it wasn't at work. So you have 10 sick days a year, or you have short-term disability, or you have long-term disability. No?
let me clarify with her.
Okay,
Or
while
what-
you're on
Mhm.
that page, there is a typo right in sick days at the bottom. There's the S missing from shall in the second last line. Shall be prorated.
Yep,
Yeah, so I was catching a few of those. I didn't get all the way through it. I got halfway through this and then I ran out of time. So
So do we want to take a look at it for another month and then?
I think you should look at it, maybe,
Do some questions on it. So
well, then please send me your questions because it's really hard for me to do them at the meeting if I know in advance.
yeah. I do have one question that is on page 9 that you could take a look at right now. Under the last heading, it says compliance. And it says non-compliance with this policy and procedure may result in ineligibility for benefits and/or discontinuation of benefits at any time. And I'm wondering if that non-compliance has to be by, because if you look above, it says that employee responsibilities are to comply, but also manager and supervisor responsibilities are to comply. And if the manager or supervisor doesn't comply, that doesn't mean that you're, that you should become ineligible for benefits. So I think it has to have with this policy and procedure by the employee, and at that point. And,
Well,
and
the only
that
thing-
clarifies it.
Mary, is I do not want to change the wording when the entire purpose of the document was to put us in line with the wording used by the township. Now, I can raise that with the HR manager and find out
Okay.
whether she thinks that's an issue. And what-
Yeah, it's just, it's a bit vague there and it could
Yep. What
be a
page was that?
problem. It's on page 9.
page 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so there's a good one. Please send me some more and I'll try to work on that and fix that for the June meeting.
Okay, yeah, we'll defer it for a month. Okay. So continuing with your report, I guess, Jennifer.
Okay, so May 28th, the township HR manager is training staff on the Sprig software system. Okay, so we're not going to be open to the public. So she starts at 9, it's going to take an hour and a half. It will not be a problem for anyone. Right? Because, we're closed for a half hour. It's not going to be problematic. So that's going to happen on the 28th. The new Lowell flat roof, yes, I spelled that wrong. It should be accepted with an A. The quote from DJ Pete Roofing, it was the lowest quote in the amount of $6,280.54 with HST included. The report regarding this was presented to council on May 10th. And they approved it because they needed to approve it because we're moving 2020 capital surplus to cover this cost.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I don't have a date for that. They're organizing that. I don't have a date for it going ahead at this time.
Okay.
We've instituted a new program, Grab and Go program for adult books, where patrons will phone us up. And of course, we already go and grab what they want when they specifically know, but now we're giving them actual grab bags of books.
Mhm. Great idea.
Because,
Jennifer?
yeah.
Sorry. I've seen online, like the New York Public Library, and there's some other public libraries. I think Toronto maybe does this, where they go online, like on their Twitter account or maybe their Facebook account, and they say, like, for a couple hours, give us what you're reading and we'll recommend something else. Or there's an opportunity to kind of do something like that online as well, that might,
I don't want to institute
No.
something that I don't have staff time to constantly.
no, I'm just thinking that the phone thing is maybe not the most efficient, or maybe people won't really know, like, I think that will tie you up more than just having people sort of, like, you can do a little Google survey or form that says, hey, these are the books I like. What do you recommend? And
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about us purchasing. We're talking about what's
No.
on the shelf now.
Oh, no, I know. No, I know. It's just, I do something like this, like with my kids at school, like there's a little link that I put out that says, what they want to, what do I recommend? Like, this is what I like, and this is the last thing I read, or it's just another opportunity to capture that audience. I think it's a great idea. I just think on the phone I think you might lose, like, there might be other ways to do it that might be more efficient.
Okay,
I don't know.
we'll look into that and see what we can do.
Mhm.
Okay, Good in Every Grain. Michelle, could you speak to that program, because you really spearheaded that?
You're muted, Michelle.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear you now.
Okay, these little laptops are something else, let me tell you. Okay, so the Good for Grain program actually has gone out, or is going out tomorrow. And in it, you have a soybean and a wheat seed. And the idea is for the children to put it into their earth tablet and to watch it grow, and to actually see which one gets bigger, which one grows faster. They have craft activities to go with it. They have a little bit of information. I didn't know that there was actually 28,000 wheat and grain farmers in Ontario. So it is an initiative from them, just talking about those big fields that you see here in Clearview, and just bringing it into a more manageable form of understanding, I guess. So I know we had a couple people inquire about it on Saturday, and we already have some pre-booking for the orders tomorrow to go out on our curbside service.
Perfect.
So it's good for all ages. It's not targeted specifically for kids, but it's something for them to do.
Okay. Thank you. And the strategic plan review really doesn't have much in it.
No.
I am working on revising library staff job descriptions based on feedback from library management and staff. And the purpose of this really is because we should do it every so often, but also I don't have a date for when the township is looking at doing the next pay equity review, but we need to get this in place in order to do it. So this is going to take months, but that's what we're working on.
Okay. Okay, under the correspondence, I guess.
And under correspondence, I've given you copies of the letters that have gone out to our MP regarding CELA funding. And I've also given you a copy of the letter that, Madam Chair, you sent to Bruce Peaver, who's the lead consultant for KPMG. So these are things that we had discussed before. I've heard from both positively. So things are going well in that regard. And I will get back to the consultant about June 4th. You've also got a request from Gary and Lois Cothers regarding an art piece of art that they would like to donate to the library if we are interested. And I open it up to you to talk about whether you would like to accept this piece of art for display in the library. I'm just trying to read their letters. Now, they are asking for it to be on display rather than giving it to us for fundraising. But I mean, if you were interested in my asking them if we could use it for fundraising. That's also a possibility.
Bob?
One of the things that I thought about immediately as soon as I saw this letter was that we had a committee formed, I guess, to see about putting art into the new library in Stayner.
Mhm.
And we ended up not having as much space as we thought we would. And so some of the things that we had in our collection will never be shown. In fact, we've given one of them back to the original donors.
Right.
So I have some concerns about in the Stayner branch having a spot to put it. I don't know, I wasn't involved in the actual decisions to look at the work to look at the library to see what we had available, but
Yeah, Connie and I did that, and we did run out of space. And there's a fair bit of wall space there, but we had quite an extensive collection of art that we wanted to display. So we don't really have room to accept anything more.
We had a lot of pictures of the library.
Yeah, and a lot of them we didn't use.
Yeah.
were very-
Some of them were stronger than others, that's
Yeah.
all.
No, we didn't use all of them. And we
No.
didn't use all of there were some local artists that we wanted to highlight or whatever. So we did that as well.
I'm also thinking of the other two branches and
They have less wall space.
haven't visited those two branches for a little while, but
Wall
I
space.
think New Lowell is almost wall-to-wall coverage with shelves and whatever.
Right.
Creemore is pretty much the same.
It is
we
now.
are bursting at the seams in Creemore as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice gesture, but I personally, I think we should thank them and say, well, unfortunately, we really don't have the space at this point in time. It might end up in storage, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Anybody else have any comments?
Well, I hate to accept it and then not show it. And they show up at the library one day expecting to see it. So I think I agree with Bob.
Yeah.
We just don't have the space. Sorry.
Okay.
I agree.
Do we, I'm just curious, do we do a
I agree
rotation
too.
with art pieces?
A rotation with our what's?
With our art pieces.
Art pieces.
No, some of our
Okay.
art pieces were specifically donated to branches.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't rotate them to another branch when they were.
What we will do, John, that if we do have a show, like an art show in the library, we will take some of our artwork down and put up the show artwork. And when it's over, we'll put ours back. But I don't think we would rotate them. I don't think we have that kind of manpower.
No, that would be, well, we would never do it until we're fully open.
Yeah.
But I don't even think we can manage it then.
No.
Okay.
Any other comments? No.
And I don't think we need a motion for that. You just give me direction and I will make it
I
happen.
think seems to be the consensus that everybody would be happy if you respectfully declined the offer.
That's
Well,
fine.
and I'm wondering too, if you don't mention that we are 3 small libraries
Mhm.
relatively, and if they wanted this to have value, it belongs with some kind of a cluster of like that draws the attention of the person to the art, and somewhere like even a large library in Toronto or Barrie maybe that has different kinds that are similar to it might really profit from this, and it would appeal to a person who is looking at in that particular direction. It's going to be a little incongruous even if we had a space on the wall. It needs context
Right.
for it to really be valued.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I can mention that. All right, and then we move on then to the financial reports, which I provided the general ledger report for May 11th. I'm hoping there aren't any major issues. None of you got in touch with me about that, but
I don't think there are any issues.
as far as I can tell, we're doing fine.
Okay, any questions or? Bob?
Yes, I do have a couple of questions, and they're just sort of a general thing. I don't think it's just the cleaning contract, utilities, heating, and telephone.
Yep.
They all seem to be no expense this year. Are we not paying those bills, or are they? What's happening there?
So we certainly, oh, well. All right, they're not, I will get in touch with her because I certainly am paying the bills unless, okay, so we looked under Stainer and saw nothing but when we look under Creemore, we see things and we see things under Sunnydale. So I don't know why Stainer isn't being posted. Right, I will get on top of that, Bob.
And one other thing with regard to salaries and benefits.
Yep.
Salaries and benefits for Creemore and New Lowell seem to be kind of strange. 43% and 38% in Creemore, 53% and 86% in New Lowell, and we're only 25% of the way through the year.
If you look though at salaries and benefits in Stainer, they're well below where they should be at this point of the year. So I will speak to her about that. Part of the reason is because we have segregated staff so that we have staff who are exclusively working in Sunnydale and Creemore, physically the branches, and staff who are working in Stainer. And there's far fewer staff working in Stainer. A lot of our permanent full-time employees are working in the two southern branches. And so, you know, I've been attributing their work hours to those branches. I think if you add it all up, we should be where we are where we should be. But which branch is getting the hours attributed to it, it may be different because normally these people would be working in Stainer. But we've got them working at the other two branches. And the reasoning for that is if Stainer goes down, we've still got two branches going. If New Lowell and Creemore goes down, we've still got Stainer. So that's how we've redistributed the staffing. And of course, we didn't know we were going to have to do this in 2021. So our budget does not reflect that. But I will get in touch with Kelly McDonald and just 100% verify that we're at the proper numbers when we put those three numbers together.
So looking at Stainer numbers, they are fairly well in line with the budget. Stainer's showing 31% of salaries.
Yeah, but when you go up a little further to library admin, and it's at 24 and 24.
Yeah, so that's in line because we were 25% of the year so far.
Well, I'll get in touch with Kelly and try to work out where we are. I think we're okay, but everything's pretty screwed up all over we're not where we should be in terms of what we're applying things to. But I'll make sure that's copacetic. And I'll report back on that for the next meeting, Bob.
Yep. Okay.
Part of that is because you needed to keep the staff segregated from each other in work groups that were smaller and they couldn't interblend as much as they used to do.
Yes, that is also a problem.
Yeah.
But we'll work that out. In fact, I'll get in touch with Kelly after the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. I guess now it's time to go in camera.
So we have a resolution that appears in your agenda.
Yeah.
I'll need a mover and a seconder, and the resolution is that the Clearview Public Library Board move in camera pursuant to Public Libraries Act RSO 1990, Chapter P44, Section 16.1, brackets 4, bracket B, personal matters about an identifiable individual. So if I could get a mover and a seconder for that.
Okay.
Also move.
I'll second it.
Okay.